you built the same way. Man, the struggle is a workout. It ain't easy lifting weight. You gotta curl through your family, curl through your friends. Keep your head above water. Let me teach you how to swim.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Podcast number 5. I appreciate y'all for listening, supporting, the replies, the comments, the messages. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, just going to go ahead and dive right in. So, let's talk about food. Now, again, like I said before, I'm not going to be the one to, say, go do this and go do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of speaking from my personal experience, and you kind of take it how it is, and then we go from there. But the gist of it is, when I'm talking about food, all right, let's keep it real simple. Again, we're starting simple. We're still podcast 5, so we're keeping it real simple, and we'll get deeper. So let's talk about this food. All right. I'm not going to say any stores or anything like that, because it really doesn't matter. But there's certain brands out there. You got to think. Think of your dog food just as your food. You know what I mean? Think of it as you can have your chicken, your grilled chicken, or however you like it, or you could have some fast food, chili dog every day, or hamburger or something, or you could have your full course with your salad and your chicken, your greens, all that good stuff. Or you can have your chili dog and a sundae. That's really how it is. You have to think of it like that. Now, I'm not going to get too deep and start naming out dog food brands and all that. I mean, it's kind of, says it itself. I mean, just take the time to look. It doesn't take too much time to see how much fat is in a dog food bag, how much protein, what's in it. Is it full of corn? Is there any meat in it? Wheat, all that type stuff. You'll be surprised sometimes. Some of us, we just, we want to go grocery shopping and it's convenient. So, I'm going to just grab a big, this big bag of dog food, and it's affordable and it's convenient. I'm right here at the grocery store, so why not? But the problem is, do you want to eat gravy every day on your food? You know what I mean? So, yeah, you gotta do a little. Take your time. And the thing is, if you have dogs, it doesn't. 9 times out of 10, you have the same type. If you have more than one, you have the same type of dog, or as far as in general, they're going for the same thing. Or either way it goes, whether it's a one-time investment. It's a one-time. Sit down on the couch or whatever before you lay down, whatever you're doing, and look, okay, what would be the best dog food for my dog? As far as what does my dog need? Does it need, more calories? Does it need more fat? What's going on? So once you do that, you do that one time. And then you're set. If it works for that dog, then you're set. If you're liking how your dog looks, if your dog's feeling good, looking good, you're good. Now, of course, you may have to change during the winter time. You have your summer feed and your winter feed, depending on where you're living. So, again, it's still a one-time investment. You're going to sit down and you'll look. Boom, you can knock them both out. Okay, in the wintertime, you need to put a little more weight on them, So, all right, so this is what I'll get there in the winter. This is what I'll do. 9 times out of 10, whatever brand you're using for the summer, they're going to have a brand for the winter. Now, I guess it would be easier if they labeled the dog foods like that, summer and winter, but we all don't live in the same climate. So I get it. So take your time and look into that because it's worth it. All right. Your dog shouldn't be pooping 10 times a day. You know what I mean? Let's see. I don't know if that's going on. Oh, your dog, when he's pooping, he shouldn't be struggling. It shouldn't be sitting there just pushing and pushing and pushing and then just gets one drop. You know what I mean? Or gets that look like little deer poop. Like that's not what it's supposed to be like. It's not normal. The dog's constipated. All right, imagine being constipated, but the food's good, so you're gonna keep eating it anyways. At that, it's like it's your only choice. See what I'm saying? So it's worth it. Because it's at the end of the day, if you're not caring about your dog's health and all that, then kind of it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? So you gotta, look at it this way. If you bought your dog or however you got your dog, you don't want to waste your time or money or any of that. So do a full investment. All right? Just like your car. You're going to buy a car, every now and then, once a week, you may go clean it up. Then you're going to get the oil changed. Sometimes it may, need some new spark plugs or something, some new tires. But you're going to keep it all in rotation. That's the same way you should do your dogs. Same way you should do yourself, if you want to be honest with you. That's a whole nother topic. So, once you figure out the right dog food for your dog, you'll know it's right by, again, how your dog's looking, how your dog's acting, the poop is, maybe even throwing, is he throwing up? What's going on? If nothing's going on and everything's looking good, then hey, coat looking good, teeth looking good. It's another thing. Your dog's teeth shouldn't just be yellow just because he's aging. All right. Your dog shouldn't be, 10 years. That's some people keep it simple. They get their dog and then they didn't have the dog for 6, 7, 10 years, and then dog's teeth it's all yellow and brown and stuff, and they think, oh, the dog's just getting old. No, not really. Don't get me wrong. It's just like as a dog gets older, teeth do fall out and stuff like that. But you'll be surprised how much time you can buy on that. You'll be surprised. Sometimes you'll get some teeth that, when they actually just naturally do fall out as an old age, that tooth is still, it looks like a big, when the puppy's tooth fall out, you look like something like that. It's still white and everything. So you'll be surprised. So you definitely got to take your time to do that. Your dog will breathe better, move better, act better, feel better. You definitely got to do it. Your dog shouldn't be wobbling around. No offense. They shouldn't do it. It's not, they just imagine. No offense to anybody. But when people are overweight, what do they want to do? lose weight. So how do you think a dog will feel when they're overweight? It may be fun, it was cool for a minute, and then it's like, oh man, this is a struggle. This can't be life. Let's just keep it real. All right. So be smart. Don't be convenient. Don't be convenient. That doesn't, that's just set up for an L. All right. Let's just set up for an L. So now, canned food. I'll just say canned food in general. I'm not going to say all canned food is bad. That would be ignorant. Again, it goes into what's in the food. What are you looking for? How's your dog look? How's it feel? How's it act? How's it moving? All right. Now, I will say, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Now, if I have it's just something what I was always taught. If I have a puppy or a dog, whatever, that's not eating, and I know I need to get this dog to eat, the very last test for me before this is serious, before I know, like, oh, he's just, being weird, something's, okay, yeah, dog's sick, this is the last test for me, but that's when I get canned food, and then I mix it up. If not, just give the canned food as is, but sometimes I mix a little of the kibble in there, and I know 9 times out of 10, the dog, is going to go to town on that again, because of course there's different types of dog canned food. Don't get me wrong, but I set it up so it's like, what is this? Like, this is like the treat. They're getting the treat. So if the dog, if the dog doesn't touch it, then I know, okay, it's serious. So I'm not going to act like I don't ever use no canned food. So I don't want to, basically what I'm getting at is, I'm not saying I'm against canned food. So, but I'm saying do your research, because canned food is the same thing. It's the same thing, all right? Just because it's not kibble doesn't mean it's healthier. Still got to do your research. Still got to do your research. So, to sum up this podcast for today, podcast 5 is sit down, maybe 5 minutes, and see what type of dog food you should be buying your dog for the summer and for the winter, depending on where you live. So let's keep it simple. Let's say if you have cold climate and if you have hot climate, warm climate, what are you feeding during the cold and what are you feeding during the warm? Write it down. 9 times out of 10, like I said, whatever you're feeding in the winter, that brand is going to have something else for the summer. You know what I mean? That's how it works. They don't tell you that for obvious reasons. All climates are different, but you'll have no problem. So all you got to do is pick one, and then you go to the other. Now, of course, it's trial and error. You may get lucky and find the right one right on. It could happen. Or you may get a bag that your dog doesn't like, or doesn't do good with your dog. It's trial and error. But don't just be convenient and just start throwing anything at them. All right. Just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. All right. Now, again, I don't want to overlook anything. I'm just starting at the very beginning of all this, being this podcast 5, and I want to, start small, start simple. So this is a whole nother podcast what I'm about to get into, but let's just touch it. All right. raw, feeding raw. You have to know what you're doing. All right? So don't just think, oh, well, I'm just throwing chicken at my dog or all this stuff. Like, okay, cool. But don't stop giving them that dog food or whatever you're doing. At the end of the day, you could end up be doing more damage than good giving them that raw if you don't know what you're doing. And how are you going to know? Because the dog ain't going to talk to you. And let's just be honest, you don't really care too much because you would have done the research instead of just, seeing, will they eat this? And dogs will eat a lot of things they shouldn't eat. They're dogs. All right, that's your job. So you have to know what you're doing. Don't just jump on the raw boat and, think, oh, my dog's looking good and acting good. Then 6 months later, something happens and you're trying to figure out why or whatever, whatever the case may be. Just, do your research. That's all I'm saying. Do your research. Understand that feeding raw doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to buy a bag of leg quarters once a week. All right? They need a lot more than that. A lot more than that. Now, again, something I do. This is just something I do. It's not something I'm telling you to do. I'll mix a little kibble, raw chicken, an egg, some coconut oil, and just, I'll do that maybe twice a week. Maybe sometimes 3, depending on how the dog's looking, feeling, and acting. Now, again, there's other things you could add to it. So, I'm not going to get deeper, but there's other things you could add. Of course, your greens and stuff. But that's just what I'll do. But again, the kicker is I don't just pull off the kibble. Now, I do that when I'm getting ready for the shows and everything, and it does bring out the shine in the coat and all that stuff. So, it works for me. It works for me. But again, maybe your dog's allergic to something. You never know. You won't know until it happens. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So, just do your research. Do your research and understand that it doesn't necessarily mean you're just spending $6 a week. Don't get that twisted. So, kind of again touching the raw food. Let's just go to the other side. The don'ts, I guess. The cooked food. All right. Now, again, I'm not telling you what to do, what not to do, whatever. I'm just talking off personal experience and what I've heard and learned. Don't be cooking your dog's bones and giving it to them. All right? I'm not going to sit here and judge you if you want to cook the meat or whatever you want to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Again, I'm just going to say do your research. But what I am going to say is, man, come on, think about it. Your dog is chewing up bits and pieces of a bone, if not swallowing the whole thing. That's not exactly dissolving in their stomach. Come on now. This is when people think, oh, well, they're animals. They go back to the wolves. Correct. But the wolves and the animals don't throw their meat on the grill. Or they don't throw their meat in the oven or the stove, whatever. Bones raw is rubbery. They're flimsy. They get all the nutrients they need and with no type of safety hazard by eating a raw bone. Again, do your research. Again, don't, say, oh, THK said it. No, do your research. Do your research. Or ask your vet. Ask your vet how many times they pulled pieces of bones out of stomachs, or there was bones stuck in the stomach for, years until something happened. And then they finally, open them up, and boom. All right, so I will say that. Don't give him a shot. give your dog a shot. All right. As far as don't just say, hey, I'm gonna take a gamble on you and just keep throwing you these cooked bones that I know you gotta chew up. That's not dissolving. I mean, I don't. They have a normal throat, people. I don't know how else to put it. All right. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but let's go scientific. If you cut their throat open, I mean, cut our throat open. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So why do you think it'll be any different? So, yeah, that's just my thing on that. Just, yeah, your table food, whatever you do. But again, all I'm going to say is do your research, because some stuff is, almost poison to dogs. Too much of it can kill them. You won't know until it's too late, but you will never know because you won't think it was the scraps you gave them. You would never thought it. You would just read it one day or see somebody saying, oh, I wonder if that's what's happened to. I wonder if we shouldn't have gave. You see what I'm saying? So just do your research. All right? It takes a little bit of time. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. For listening. Again, shout out THC, Tips Tip Top Shape, Legendary Music. Big things in BU coming soon. That's coming soon. I need y'all to stay tuned to that. Updated the podcast room. Getting some big things going with BU, and be in the studio soon doing this, and maybe even have some visuals. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're sharing. Tell a friend that they may need to hear some of that stuff. Maybe you never know. I want you to be a part of this growth. All right. So I appreciate all y'all for the love of the breed, for the respect of the breed, and for taking the time to understand and learn the breed. For me, it's the Pitbull Terrier. For you, it may be something different, but it's important, and I appreciate it. And, yeah, keep grinding, y'all.